An update from West Texas, where officials now say at least 7 people have died as a result of yesterday's mass shooting in Midland and Odessa. Joining me now is Republican Congressman from Arizona, Andy Biggs. He sits on the House Judiciary Committee, is co-chair of the Border Security Caucus, and a member of the House Freedom Caucus. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
4 weeks after El Paso, a mass casualty shooting 300 miles to the east in Odessa, Texas. Your thoughts this morning?
Well, first of all, of course, we are praying and concerned with the folks, the victims and the families of the Permian Basin, and I know you worked there, and I've worked in that area. But I also will tell you, thank goodness for the blue line that went in there. We really appreciate the police there. And then I guess the next step from there is to acknowledge that we have a tremendous problem in this nation and throughout the world even. But it's this notion of how do we stop mass violence and prevent mass violence. And it's not just shooting, but I mean, if you look 2 weeks ago, the Dayton, not the 4 week ago Dayton issue, but the 2 week ago Dayton issue, where you had an individual wielding a knife, attacking people, and then turning around, stealing a car, and killing a number of people with that incident. So we have this problem of violence in this country, and we need to address that problem.
We don't have a word on the motive just yet. We did just get an update on the death toll, at least 7 people killed. Some brave first responders, police from various agencies really putting their lives on the line, getting wounded in action to take down this gunman. Some preliminary thoughts on what can be done to stop these mass violence type attacks?
Well, it's hard to anticipate, and I think that I agree with Attorney General Paxton of Texas that we need to continue to look at this. But one of the things that he said, and he repeated this a couple of times, is that we need to find ways to respond to these quicker to prevent these incidents from exacerbating. I think that's important, and I've actually talked with some groups that believe that they can do that. But I don't think that we should step in with false palliatives like, red flag laws, and we need to face the fact that we have got deteriorating institutions that actually in some ways stoke these fires, and we need to change the rhetoric. We need to change our institutions to recognize that we have a serious problem here. We don't know enough about this most recent shooting, the one from yesterday, to know why this guy was doing it, where he got his guns, how he got his guns, and why he was attacking the police officers who were stopping him for a routine traffic stop. This is a problem.
We've got your colleague, Congressman David Cicilline of Rhode Island, for the view from the other side of the aisle coming up. Let me ask you, Congressman Biggs, can Congress come together to pass some kind of bipartisan legislation that might not eliminate the threat, but perhaps would be some common sense steps to address this problem?
Well, I'm always interested in that question because I think we agree on a lot of things. David's actually got some good legislation that I support in other areas. But too often what I see happening is we react to this stuff so quickly, and we're trying to do something, and they may be the best of intentions, but they have potential long-term ramifications that are going to impede solving the problem. Because I think some of the solutions that are proposed are superficial in nature. I think this is a much deeper problem, and it is a societal problem as much as anything else.
So are you interested in maybe looking at mental health? Are you concerned about violent video games, some of the other peripheral issues, if not guns directly, some of the other things that may potentially be contributing factors? We've heard in previous cases of family members trying to call authorities about a loved one and not getting much action. Are there some of those other common sense things that maybe can be tightened up?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think there are a couple of things that you just mentioned that are important to understand. I think that we need to stop attacking religious institutions. We got the family that is under attack. We need to build that up, because some of those institutions, if we can help those, that'll ameliorate some of the alienation that I think drives some of this. It'll help solve some of those mental health issues. Additionally, we need to have communications between agencies, and that was the Parkland issue. I mean, that was part of that issue. We've got all kinds of ways we can attack some of this. But don't forget that most states, if not all, actually have ways to go in. If you suspect that that you have a loved one that is suicidal or a danger to others, you can actually go in now and through due process means request that they be evaluated, and that's important.